Ready? Yeah. Today is February 14th. We just had our Valentine's Day dinner prepared by our super chef. Michelle is now filming. He's also an opera singer, so fabulous. Anyway, I'm sitting next to Ken Curtis. I've known Ken Curtis about that's 5 years, maybe. I remember from the very beginning to come to classes here. And as we're sitting down eating dinner, he was sharing his experiences and some of the things he went through since he's been on a raw food diet. And I thought, wow, that's a pretty interesting story. So I asked him if he wanted to share his story. And he said yes. Okay, you're on.
Okay, thanks, Arnold. As he mentioned, this is literally Valentine's Day. And my wife made reservations for us to come here to celebrate Valentine's Day with raw food. Now that may not sound too appealing to someone who's not familiar with some of the incredible creations that can be done with raw food, which interestingly are so filling with much less quantity. And I've come to appreciate this way of eating, and it wasn't because I was smart enough to recognize the values. It came more of necessity, because 5 years ago I got an advanced diagnosis of cancer in a couple of places in my body with not good prospects for lasting very long, and scrambling around trying to find out what to do. And I realized that in dealing with cancer and then later with congestive heart failure, there are certain things we can do to help ourselves, one of which is to give our immune system every possible break we can to do the job internally that it's best equipped to do. And it's just been a wonderful process of discovery for me to understand a little bit more and more the extraordinary power of our own immune system, that God has given us innate capacities within our own bodies to get rid of the stuff that doesn't belong there, such as cancer, for example. And I'm not saying that's the only answer or the full answer. There are many other complementary things, paying attention to the water we drink, to the air we breathe, to moving our bodies and exercising, to various detoxification techniques. Yes, very good point. Getting good sleep at night. So I mean, there's many things, but we're here tonight talking about the raw food. And I would just say, by way of a summary comment, that people get the idea, oh, how can you be eating celery and carrots all day? It's a lot more than that. And I've found, in fact, Michelle can tell you, she had a wonderful soup tonight, and one of the things that I have eliminated from, two of the things I've eliminated from my diet are sugar and salt. And I asked her, I says, Michelle, is there any salt in this soup? Because I could taste it immediately, and there was actually a little bit of sea salt in there. And the reason I mention this is, once you've trained yourself to another way of eating, you spot these things like sugar and salt so easily and wish they weren't there. So I can't say that I've mastered it 100%, but I'm getting more and more all the time, and I'm very grateful for what I've learned. And I guess the other thing I'd want to add, Arnold, is this. I just came back from a retreat type place where they emphasize this kind of eating down in Texas, and there were a number of people who reminded me how fortunate and blessed I am to have a restaurant like yours so close. If there's anything like it in other parts of the country, I haven't come across it yet, so I'm really most happy and grateful that I can stop over here quite often and just pop in.
You mentioned that they gave you a 15% chance of living.
Yeah.
Maybe explain that maybe a little bit, what you did to change that.
The kind of cancer I had,
what was it called again?
It was stage 3B lung cancer and also kidney cancer.
Kidney cancer and lung cancer.
Yeah.
They gave you a 15% chance of living.
Well, I guess the thing was that 15%, if you took all the treatments, would last 1 year.
If you took all the treatments medically,
yeah,
you would last 1 year.
1% would last 2 years.
1% would last 2 years, and this was 5 years ago?
Yeah. And it's not out of any
right.
Great heroics on my part. I would say I place a great deal of emphasis on so many people that prayed for me
Right.
and the support of my family.
And you went on a mostly raw food diet
Yep,
back then.
and
Rather than go medically.
right.
And your wife support, yes.
Yep. So these things are so essential. But the encouraging thing is, when you're given a very dismal prospect, that is not the final word or the whole word.
Right.
Um,
But not only that, I don't think they should even be giving that diagnosis, by the way.
no.
Because your cells understand English.
Right.
And they,
Yeah, your cells understand. Yep.
Yes,
The cells are eavesdropping on your thoughts. Even.
that's right.
Yeah.
So you decided to go mostly raw then,
Yes.
rather than go medically.
Right. But it took me time to learn. I mean, you
Right.
don't learn this
You
overnight.
don't learn overnight.
And
And you were very skeptical at first.
I wasn't skeptical, Arnold. I was open. Wouldn't
Right.
you say that? So maybe a little hesitant until I understood it better, et cetera, et cetera. But the wonderful thing about coming to a place like yours is you can't help but bump into other people who have remarkable stories. And
That's right.
the fascinating thing is, what works for one seems to work for so many things.
That's right.
It's not just you've got cancer, so you should do this.
Right, right.
It's you want to be healthy, so you
Right.
should do this, and
Right.
it addresses all these various
Absolutely.
diseases. So thank you for the
Okay.
privilege of sharing a few thoughts.
Okay, thanks. Nice job.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.